To sponsor a show or advertise, call or WhatsApp 0763 593 288. Melo Media. Melo Media. Melo Media. Stay tuned as we will be going live soon. To sponsor a show or advertise, call or WhatsApp 0763 593 288. Melo Media. Melo Media. Melo Media.
Hi, this is Chileshe. I'm a development practitioner, and you are on Melo Media Live. And we're going through a series of broadcasts that are looking at this whole concept of entrepreneurship, trying to understand entrepreneurship so that we can then put it to good use, especially at this point in time in our country, when we're looking at private sector-led development, with a lot of opportunities being opened up. We need to utilize entrepreneurship. We need to be entrepreneurial. But then what is entrepreneurship? And we've been discussing in the last three broadcasts. We started with what entrepreneurship is, and we went further to demonstrate some of the key attributes of entrepreneurship. We brought it home to the individual and spoke about what some of the things could be evident in a person if we're going to say they are entrepreneur. Now, remember, these are things that are backed by research. This is not about motivational talk on entrepreneurship. This is about understanding entrepreneurship from scientific processes that have examined who entrepreneurs are, have looked at some of the things that are evident in entrepreneurship and in the entrepreneur, and based on that have now been documented for us to learn from so that we can easily apply these things in our own circumstances, in our lives as individuals and in our society, including our country at large. So let me just put up a slide there, just to quickly recap on some of the things that we had looked at. We did say entrepreneurship is enhancing reality. It's this process of creating change, positive change, which goes outside the status quo. It's disruptive in nature. And so because of that, we identified 5 key elements. If you see these 5 things, you are seeing entrepreneurship. That's the reason we're getting to this level. This is not theory, this is practice. And so we want to see these things, we want to encourage these things, and we want to, find ourselves in environments where these things are clearly evident if we are going to be entrepreneur ourselves. We did say entrepreneurship is transformational. It moves us to another new level in that we can refer to. Okay, it could be in politics, for instance. I often give the example of Obama as being an entrepreneur in the political space, how he transformed reality, not only in being the first non-white president, but he transformed even our thinking about what is possible. I don't know about you, but I was impacted positively in my mind. For him to have made it, I began to think, yes, I can. Just like he said, yes, we can. If that looked impossible and it happened, maybe I also can. Okay, so it actually transforms even the way I think, and I'm not in the US. So entrepreneurship can be transformational, not just in a physical sense, but even in a psychological sense, in a sociological sense, in a political sense, and so on. There is transformation. There are opportunities that are identified and exploited. We did talk about this briefly, and also we said there are resources that are applied. Here we emphasize that it is about, number one, the people. The most important resource is the person. Next to that is the information they're exposed to. Followed by that is the time they utilize. Those are key resources, and money only comes in as a catalyst that helps makes things happen. Without those first three resources, money is not valuable. It is only as valuable as the kind of change it can catalyze. This is very important because we tend to focus on money. The greatest achievement, even of an entrepreneur, is not the money they make. It is the transformation they create. Number 4, we did say there's element of risk, and the risk is not for its own sake. This is risk because you're taking a new path. You're not doing business as usual. You're actually changing the landscape, trying out new things, doing things differently. And so there are very few precedents, if at all any. We don't know who else has gone that way. And because of that, there's uncertainty. And that is the risk we're talking about. So entrepreneurs do not pursue risk for its own sake. In fact, the fact that you're going into a risky situation does not make you an entrepreneur. We have to look at the other elements and what you're trying to achieve, and the fact that the exposure to risk is linked to what you're trying to achieve. This is important because there are people who think risk-taking is entrepreneurship. No. Entrepreneurship will include some element of risk, but this risk will be managed. So you're not being daredevils. You're not just going into risk. You are managing that risk. As an entrepreneur, you're going to assess the risk and see whether it's worth it. If it's not, walk away. If you think there's a good chance of navigating the pitfalls that may exist, then you may proceed. Even then, it may not work, but you're still entrepreneurial because you've calculated your risk. So an entrepreneur takes calculated risk. Okay, that's important. Then number 5, there must be something in it for the entrepreneur. There must be something that one is trying to achieve. That is the thing that gives the entrepreneur the staying power to continue pursuing. Their vision is so clear to them. They're literally seeing the end from the beginning, and they're saying, I must get there. That reality must become something I'm living in, okay? And because of that, it gives them the staying power against a lot of odds, against setbacks, challenges that may come in the way. Their desire to create a new reality and enjoy a new reality is what gives them the staying power. So if these 5 things exist, based on what we've understood from research, looking at examining and studying entrepreneurship, we know that then we have the elements that can help us achieve. So if you think about it, if we want to promote entrepreneurship, we can look at these elements and help our society think clearly about these things and encourage them to work with these things. And we can begin to see more and more of entrepreneurship within our environment. I use the illustration of Mavuto Tembo there to now bring it to the individual level. And here we did say they must have certain personal attributes. Again, this is not theory. These are things we can practically promote in individuals so that we can have more entrepreneurs in our society and our society can become entrepreneurial. Okay? The need for achievement. We need to catalyze in people the desire to achieve much. They must not settle for less. We need to help people become ambitious, okay? To want to aspire for greater things. This is important because it is that aspiration which will drive them, okay? The ability to take responsibility, and this is important for our context because we blame every person, left, right, and center, for our circumstances. But we must learn to take responsibility for where we are, okay? Because we are where we are largely because of certain choices and decisions we've made. It's not completely us. There are other things beyond us, but there are definitely some things that have to do with our own choices and decisions. And at least for those things, we can do something different. So we need to take responsibility because if we recognize that we are where we are, partly because of our choices, then we can make different choices. Then we know we have been empowered by just realizing that, as depressing as that might sound, we actually empower ourselves to change our circumstances. Because if I'm saying that I'm where I am partly because of my own choices and decisions, then if I make different choices and decisions, I can move myself from where I am. Yes, I'll need external support and the other things that must change in my environment, but let me at least take responsibility for that which is within my control. Very important. An entrepreneur must have what we call self-efficacy. I use the word self-confidence because it's better known, but the actual word is self-efficacy. It is having self-confidence in the things that have to do with my capabilities, only in that space. I must not be confident about what is beyond me, but what is within my capability. I must know what I'm good at and utilize that for my good. I must know what I'm not good at and know how to work with that other side. Okay, so it's a realistic assessment of myself and seeing that about me, which can help me move forward, and then seeing how I can manage everything else. So self-efficacy is the right word. Then number 4, it's about risk-taking, tolerating uncertainty and ambiguity. I do not wait for everything to become completely clear for me to move. But if I can assess the situation and if I have some distance of certainty, even if some things beyond that point are unclear, I will still move and keep reevaluating my situation so that as I move forward, things will become clear. Okay, I often in my presentations make this kind of analogy. When you're driving in a foggy environment, you only see up to a certain distance. You don't stop because I can't see beyond 20 meters. You keep moving cautiously because that 20 meters also keeps extending. Okay, if I move 10 meters, then another 10 meters of visibility is extended. So at any one point, I have 20 meters of visibility, and I work with that, and I keep moving forward cautiously. So an entrepreneur is like that. Yes, there's some uncertainty. Move cautiously, keep reevaluating your situation, and see how you can navigate anything that pops up as you keep moving forward. That's an attribute of an entrepreneur. The other attribute is problem solving, problem solving orientation. Okay, put differently, you need to be solution oriented. Okay, so even faced with a problem, you need to look at what the solution could be. Okay, and in doing that, your opportunities might lie just there. Okay, this is also important because we're very good at listing problems and we stop there. That's only half the discussion. We need to understand our problems, yes, so we need to talk about them. But then so what? We need to move beyond that point and begin to deal with the solutions to those problems. What can we solve? What must others solve? What can we suggest? Some of the problems we can solve become our opportunity, and if we can be creative about how we solve them, we create value, and even if we did not intend it, we will still make money. Money is made because someone pursues value and money pursues them because everybody else wants to buy into that value. Everybody else that sees the problem wants the solution. So if I've created the solution, then others will buy into my solution. So money is not made because it is pursued. Pursue value and money will pursue you. That is the concept in entrepreneurship that we need to keep in mind. Okay, so I've gone into a bit of detail about some of the things we've covered so that I just drive this point home and I help you understand that this is not a lecture, very theoretical, just trying to help you understand terms and concepts. No. This is very practical. These are things we can work with. We can reflect on them, examine ourselves, try to develop them in ourselves, and try to develop them in our environment. And as we do that more and more, we become more entrepreneurial ourselves, and our society becomes more entrepreneurial. And we begin to see the outcomes of entrepreneurship. And remember, a key outcome of entrepreneurship is the enhancement of reality, because that's the definition of entrepreneurship. Reality is enhanced, it's moved to another better level permanently. Benefits are reaped from that because people make use of this new reality, and those that have driven this new reality get the benefit. If they wanted to get money out of it, then they will. Okay, some of them just want to get satisfaction, because some entrepreneurs are not economic entrepreneurs, but they do get the benefit of what they have pursued nonetheless. Let's keep thinking about these things as we end this broadcast and seeing how we can apply them in our environment, how we can make good use of them and take our society forward. I will end here for this broadcast, and look forward to going further to look at some of the tools that we have to transform an individual or to transform ourselves so that we can become better entrepreneurs and achieve what we'd like to achieve. So until then, it's goodbye. See you next time. Thank you.
Thank you for watching. To sponsor a show or advertise, call or WhatsApp 0763 593 288. Melo Media.